Rumors will never stop around Mercedes. News after failing to understand 2022, the technical regulation. The team was poised to build a recovery car, the W14, to allow them to conquer the grid and win the 8th championship for the team. Despite this, it has been evident that the team does lack performance in the pre-season testing in Bahrain, and this new design is likely to continue to struggle in the upcoming season as well. Moreover, there have been reports that Mercedes made a huge basic mistake during the pre-season testing in Bahrain. It was a bit controversial. For example, when Mercedes introduced the front wing design during the US Grand Prix in 2022, and it has been revised since then in terms of whether the design is legal or not. Mercedes has now announced that they will receive a huge aerodynamic boost from 2023 onwards, but this is what Mercedes is looking forward to most in the upcoming season of 2023. During the car review, Mercedes chose to go one step further with their no-pot sidepod design, and now it looks even narrower compared to what we saw in 2022, so it gave us a lot of hope during the car review. Hamilton, for one, wasn't particularly happy with how the car behaves last year, and he thinks that the only thing can be improved is the sidepod design for the W14, since he doesn't like the way it looks at the moment. Despite this, Mercedes technical experts believe that the car is performing as it should be. Mercedes decided to take it a step further, so they took the sidebar design one step further. But during the pre-testing in Bahrain, it was evident that Mercedes isn't as fast as they were hoping. Toto Wolff, however, has assured us that the team hasn't put all of its performance up for grabs. As a result, they have explicitly admitted that the protests in Bahrain have been sent back by the government. One thing that has gone wrong for Mercedes during the development of the W14, according to Ted Kravitz, was they were not able to exploit the engine as much as possible during the freeze development period. To improve the performance of an existing engine, the team have to work with what they have. This means that extracting more out of an existing engine will be much harder task for the teams. As of last year, the engines aren't allowed to be developed until the beginning of the 2026 season, which means the teams have to work with what they have. The Maranello team is claiming to have managed to bag in 30 base horsepower, a few more than the initial rumors about the W14 engine. For 20, it was thought to have been more powerful with a 10 base horsepower, but they have been confirmed or denied by any official out there. Despite this, the team has likely missed a critical step when it comes to developing their engine to its optimal configuration for the upcoming season, and this is going to be a huge hit for the Brackley squad in the coming season. This is an interesting resting one given that the sport engine freeze until 2026 is expected to happen. If turns out to be true, when talking about this, Ted Kravitz said, "It is a theory around the paddock that Mercedes were reliable with their power unit last year. They did not take into account that it was designed to be powerful, but it was unreliable, and that it was possible to fix the reliability, which was allowed up until September last year. There are many other manufacturers as well. As a result, have to use an extra power unit at the end of the season, which would result in them receiving a penalty. However, they were not bothered by that, since they would be able to improve the engine's reliability as well as increase the power as a side benefit." Furthermore, Kravitz said that when an engine manufacturer says that they want to bring in a part that is fixed, such as MGUH or some other parts that is fixed, this helps boost the team's reliability. It spreads to all the other manufacturers out there, so everyone out there is aware of what the other competitor is doing, as well as helping the team boost reliability of the engine. However, that does not mean that the engine manufacturers cannot also add a little extra power in the name of reliability. In other words, we appear to be the problem. Mercedes will likely tell you if you ask them if they build the engine to the last whole season, and in the case of their customers, Aston Martin and Williams, they did not incur an engine penalty. Mercedes had 3 power units for each of the drivers. The engine has shown to be more efficient than ever before, but it's evident that it isn't delivering the best performance when compared to the previous model. Kravitz argues that Mercedes have missed the perfect time to upgrade their engine in terms of firepower by not upgrading it as much as Honda, Renault, or Ferrari, and this is where he makes the case that Mercedes did not do so. It may seem that you have gone the other way. It would have been better to have gone in the direction of performance instead. The engine penalty has been associated with reliability. However, Mercedes has not done that. They are taking a hit on reliability, but they can improve it under the engine freeze. Mercedes will have to pay the price for that decision eventually. Only time will tell if Mercedes will live to regret that decision. Where does the story end for Mercedes? As has already been hinted at, the Brackley-based squad isn't going to be claiming the 2023 season right away. There has been a lot of talk about the pace and long-term performance of the team in Bahrain, and while we are eager to see what the teams has in store for the second half of the season, it's not a given to us. Some teams have managed to be much more successful in Bahrain, such as Aston Martin. Also, the design of the car is another thing that isn't particularly well blended into the rest of the car. In addition to that, the W14 will not extract the full potential out of the engine due to its lack of integration with the rest of the car as well. Mercedes should not be worried about the penalties if they had a lot of confidence in the power unit of their engine. It is of course very pleasant to have a team with an engine that is reliable. However, if the engine doesn't run as fast as it should be, then you aren't doing yourself any favors. Horner and Binotto expressed earlier last year that given the potential hidden in the first version of the engine, they would prefer to work on an engine that is fast and reliable. Mercedes will likely fight for the third position in the Constructors' Championship this season as a team entering the season. However, I do not believe that is a good thing for Mercedes, that they will likely pray the other team's reliability issues will turn out to be a stroke of good luck for them, because they may be able to snag the podium finish for that first race in Bahrain based on reliability issues of other teams. A big question for Mercedes fan is whether they will be able to go there and win the race. Russell has pointed out this is something that has dealt another blow to their hopes. I think we believe that they will eventually be able to build a car that will be capable of winning the battle, whether it's Bahrain next weekend or not. That was a quote from Young Britain when talking about it. We assume that will be a stretch for next week, but we're confident that we will get there at some point this year, as the car is looking strong and Verstappen is doing well. So I think really will be a stretch for next week, but I'm confident that we will eventually get there. In Hamilton too, there is not a lot of optimism, even though he feels as if the car feels better than the 2022 car. He also noted that there are underlying issues with the car from the previous season. It was clear that one of the biggest issues with the W14 predecessor was the increased drag and the purpose which the W14 predecessor did not manage to resolve, although the latter has been rectified. Thanks to the new rules and regulations, the car has developed a bit of stability problem. Quite a bit of stability problem with the new setups. We are more than happy to see Mercedes back in the fight in 2022, along with the Brackley-based squad, which will provide us with a proper three-team battle in the front. This is why Ted Kravis did not believe that Mercedes will have fixed their issues by 20. There is no way that this will happen, since Alonso and Aston Martin are the favorites to win this event. Thus, the question rises to whether Hamilton will be prepared to sign the latest contract agreement that has been offered. As things stand, it doesn't seem like Mercedes has the power to overcome the challenges Hamilton and Russell have, but the negotiations have just started, and Hamilton has not committed to Mercedes. As things stand, it doesn't seem that Mercedes has what it takes to overcome those challenges and deliver a championship-winning car to Hamilton and Russell. What do you think about the missed opportunity for Mercedes to boost their engine? We would like to hear your thoughts in the comments below, so please let us know what do you think.